I've been DMing for over 13 years now, which is a lot, and particularly over the later half of that, my DMing style has really changed, and it's because I started going pro and running these professional games. Um, so I wanted to talk about the ways that my DM style has changed now. These are not necessarily recommendations for going pro. Your professional situation and your DM style will probably be different than mine. Still, these may be good things to consider if you are considering going pro. So, the first thing that has changed about the way that I DM is I really follow the rules of the book. This is to keep everything fair. If everyone's coming in and paying, you want to follow the same rules, right? It makes sense. I found that it actually improves gameplay as well. We don't have the 10-page document of here's all my house rules that you need to remember. Um, Everything runs smoothly. I think it allows the base game to shine in a way that really shows the strengths of 5th edition D&D rather than trying to fix it so much that you wind up making this whole separate game that may or may not work. So really knowing the rules and following the rules, sticking to the rules, that has changed up the way that I play. Number two is saying yes to player choices. This goes for things like back in the day, if I had somebody come up to me and they were like, I want to play a Kinku, I would give the DM response of, well, I don't have Kinku in my world that I've made, so therefore, no, you can't play a Kinku. Now, my approach is to say, yeah, okay, I didn't have Kinku in my world, but why don't you tell me where the Kinku are and we'll put them there? Really saying yes and accepting what the players are bringing to the table within reason, of course. We're playing with the rules, and part of playing with the rules means I don't take in homebrew, I don't take in unearthed arcana that hasn't been turned into officially published rules. So there are still limits to this, of course, but it's all within the bounds of the rules rather than what I want for my world. I found that this is an easy way to show respect for the players, and it really is easy to just say, yeah, you can play a Kinku, that's fine. Um, it helps things along a lot better, and it doesn't hurt the story or your world in any way. And in general, way number three is putting the players first, understanding that my world and my story is secondary to the players' choices and their agency in shaping the game and the game world. This means really taking a step back and looking at how you run your game and what you want to put into it versus what the players are getting out of it. And if you're focused on what the players are getting out of it, I think you'll find that they'll enjoy it more, right? This makes sense. So put the players first before your own wants and needs for your world. Now, that has its drawbacks, right? There's a constant refrain that the GM is also a player, that you should also be having fun. And this method of always putting the players first means that sometimes I might not be having the most fun in a situation because I'm there trying to make the most fun for another player or more often the group of players. So this is one of those things where you have to remember, well, it's a job, I'm getting paid for it. Number four is I've really rolled back the theatrics, and this is different than what I thought it would be coming in. Coming into professional DMing, I thought I had to amp up the theatrics. This was when Critical Role was really hitting its stride. This was, everybody had a podcast that they were watching or listening to, so you thought that you had to be upfront and the most outstanding actor and performer for D&D. And the more that I've tried doing that, the more that I've found, well, actually, my players like it more when they get to be the focus of the entertainment rather than me. Again, this makes sense once you stop and think about it. Should be a no-brainer, but I've seen a lot of DMs who want to try to amp up the theatrics when really what they wind up figuring out is I can do that a little bit to encourage my players to get out there with their role play. And then once that's happened, I can say, you know, okay, lean back. I don't have to make the wackiest characters. I can just run the story, put things out there that helps the function of the players and their role. Um, Thing number 5 is a lot less prep. Now, I was in a unique situation where we were getting paid hourly, and part of that was our prep. So the less prep we could do, the cheaper our games could be, the more affordable it was on our customers, which is something that we wanted. So, we were almost encouraged to prep less for this. But when you are putting the player first before your own setting and your own story and your own world, I think it comes natural that you will spend less time getting ready for those things and more time responding to players. That happens more in the moment than it does, okay, let me sit down and plan 10 sessions ahead of time, right? So I almost miss uh, sitting down and doing that kind of prep, really writing out the stories, really getting together a dungeon. But then I don't miss it because I don't feel like that time is wasted when I wait and I see where my players want to go next and they express, this is what we want to do, this is the direction we're taking the story, and then I can say, okay, that's what they're thinking. Let me make this dungeon a little different, and it's going to take me actually half the time, if not less, because I'm catering to what they've told me they want through the story. And that's pretty much it. That's 5 big ways that my DM style has changed. What are some changes that you might be making or that you might have noticed in your own style over the years? That's all I have for today. Have a nat 20 day. Bye bye.